They had everything you wanted right there.
Good morning and welcome here live with us to Emerson, Georgia. This is the Kingsmen Baseball Network and this is the 2026 ABA Championships right here from LakePoint in Georgia. I'm Griffin Leonard here with you. Delighted to be here as we start what should be an end-to-end exciting week for the Kingsmen competing at the prospect and the varsity levels for the first ever ABA Championships. The Kingsmen varsity team, the 6th seed coming into today's tournament. They take on the 3-seeded P27 Blacksmiths, the Carolina rival that the Kingsmen are all too familiar with. They'll take on P27 for the 7th time this season. They won the regular season series. It was close. Both teams with some really good battles both in and out of conference. But this is the one that truly matters, folks. It's going to be a fun one between the Kingsmen and the Blacksmiths. Nemo Barnes is on the mound for the Kingsmen here this morning. A 9:30 projected start. It is a few minutes afterwards. No umpires yet on the scene, and we are expected to get going before too long. The Kingsmen and P27 squaring off here at LakePoint. Here at field number 13, a prospect game will take place on the other side of the complex over at field number 11. That game at 3 o'clock, and we'll have coverage for you right here in Kingsman Country. Looking forward to a good tournament. The Kingsmen looking to get off on a high note in this double elimination format. If they can win this first game, they'll stay in the winner's bracket to play tomorrow against likely, not for sure, but likely, the number 1 seeded Clubhouse Commanders. If they can get through the Blacksmiths here today. Chase Pollock is on the mound for P27 on the other side. The Kingsmen have seen him a number of times this year. They'll look to do some damage with their bats early on in this ball game. Last time these two teams squared off, the Kingsmen scored 2 runs in the first inning against Scott Graham. Went on to win 7-4 after surviving an early P27 comeback and fighting back with some big punches. Kingsman prospect team comes into this tournament as the 2 seed. They'll take on the winner of the game that's starting right now. It is ECA and Central Point. We'll have updates for you on that score as the Kingsman prospect team eagerly await the name of their first opponent. That'll be a big one for the prospect team, trying to hold serve, I guess you could say. With the tournament ramping up, you want to stay in the winner's bracket for as long as possible, given the format. If you lose this game for the varsity team, you need 6 in a row in order to win the title. The Kingsmen looking to stay in the winner's bracket for as long as possible to try to minimize the amount of games that they'll have to play and minimize the amount of pitchers that they'll have to use over the course of this week here in LakePoint. Beautiful complex here. If you joined us last night, I hope you enjoyed what, as I mentioned, night of could probably best be described as a poor recreation of the Formula One grid walk, walking down and talking to some of the players and talking to some of the coaches prior to and during that home run derby. We had a blast. I hope you enjoyed the coverage of that. We're just about ready to get going with what should be a really entertaining game between the Kingsmen and P27. A couple of these games this season between these two teams have been absolutely unbelievable, and it's hard to imagine that today will be anything different. We're going to step aside, be back in a couple minutes with starting lineups as we get ready to go here at LakePoint. It's the 2026 ABA Championships right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Welcome back here to the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Still pregame, still a couple minutes away. There's one umpire on site. I'm being told that the delay is due to a lack of a home plate umpire. The coaches and umpire, the one umpire that is here at the ballpark, they are right now talking about the situation. I'll get you any updates that I have. We're going to step aside again here, be back. Hopefully, we are minutes away from the start of this first round winners bracket game between the 6-seeded Kingsmen and 3-seeded P27 Blacksmiths. Get you an update when we come back on the start of the games going on around the complex. 5 games going on right here today at LakePoint. We'll be right back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Thanks for being patient with us. Still a few minutes away from first pitch here at LakePoint. Most recent update I've heard is that we just have the one umpire right now due to, I guess, some sort of issue in the scheduling of the umpire schedule. The other games across the way are underway. But it is this game, the only game of the 5 that is on the other side of the complex. There's 8 fields here at LakePoint in total, 4 of them being used on the one side, just this one here being used for the varsity games. This field is only going to be used until Thursday, so maybe a little less emphasis on it. But either way, they have one umpire ready to go, but he is the base umpire. So right now, what my most recent update from what I've heard is that he is, I guess, just changing and getting ready to be the home plate in case they can't get somebody else. We may end up with 1, we may end up with 2. Obviously, the preference would be to have 2 umpires given the stakes of these games. But at the end of the day, the game's got to be played. We're coming up on half an hour after the scheduled start time, coming up on 10 o'clock here in the morning here in Emerson, Georgia. LakePoint Sports, a beautiful complex. My first time here, and it is absolutely breathtaking. Some score updates around the complex for you while we wait to get started here. We have TNXL and Wellington Sports Academy that is in the top of the first inning. Nothing there. In the varsity division, we have TNXL and ECA, 3-0 in the early going of that one, bottom of the second inning. Wellington at 8-3 also being played, but I do not have a score on that one quite yet. But the TNXL Ducks up 3-0 on ECA. The winner of that game plays the Clubhouse plays Central Point at 3 o'clock in the winner's bracket. Meanwhile, in the prospect side of things, PDG up on ECA 1-0. Those 2 playing games happening over on fields 11 and 12. PDG ECA 1-0 Generals over the Bobcats. Winner of that game plays Georgia Premier. And then the big one the Kingsmen are worrying about, Wellington Sports Academy and Central Point. Central Point up 2-1 in the bottom of the first inning. Both teams with some early runs. Winner takes on the KBA at 3 over on field 11. We're going to step aside again. Hopefully, the next time we're chatting, it's with game action on the field. I'm Griffin Leonard here on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Stay with us. Kingsman ABA Championship action coming soon from LakePoint. All right, what do we say we get a ball game started here? It's the ABA Championships here from LakePoint in Emerson, Georgia. Kingsmen and P27, round one action here at the Varsity Conference. The Kingsmen looking for another win over the Blacksmiths to keep them in the winner's side of the bracket. They'll have to go through Chase Pollock to do so. Lima, Perez, Blankenship in the outfield for the home Blacksmiths, wearing the white uniforms with the red. Knight, Munchel, Aristi, Sanchez around the infield turf, with Matthias Frazier doing the catching. Batting order for the Kingsmen here today: Logan Daniel, Eli Thomas, Dino Catani, the first three. Then Christian Burney, Harris Clark, Brody Wynant, 4, 5, 6. To wrap it up, Jack Catron, Matt De La Cruz, and Nehemiah Barnes. Kingsmen with no EH. P27 is batting 10. We'll take you through that in half an inning. Nemo Barnes, the starting pitcher. He'll hit and remain in as the designated hitter once his start is complete. Logan Daniel ready to walk into the first or the right-hand side batter's box and get the ABA Championship started. Blacksmiths and Kingsmen, the 8th meeting this season, and the one with the most weight on it. The championship start right now here at LakePoint. I'm Griffin Leonard along with you for the call. Thanks for joining us. Delayed start, but we are here. 10:05, first pitch between the Kingsmen and P27. First pitch is low for a ball. It is 1-0. A little bit of a breeze here at LakePoint. Let's see how that affects fly balls. Going to try to deal with the wind that could potentially be getting picked up a little bit on the camera. That's ball 2. If the wind is becoming a problem, you can let me know. I am happy to shut the window, which unfortunately the downside of that would be to get rid of the sound of the ball getting hit off the bat just like that out to right center field, but it is caught by Perez. Andy Perez with the catch for out number 1 as Daniel with a 2-0 swing but cannot find the turf. 1 down for the Kingsmen. But yes, let me know if you'd like to try to limit the wind. The press box here spacious, so it may end up with a little bit of an echo if I close the window, but you may be able to hear me a little bit better if we do so. Eli Thomas, the 2-hole hitter for the Kingsmen, takes a ball low for ball number 1. Hit a home run 2 weeks ago at the ABA round robin against Georgia Premier. The 2030 hitter sees the 1-0 come in inside, and for the second straight hitter, it is 2-0. Chase Pollock pitching against the Kingsmen here, also batting cleanup. The designated hitter once he is done pitching, just like Nemo Barnes. Eli Thomas wearing the number 34 for the Kingsmen. 2-0 pitch. He swings away at the 2-0 and dribbles it foul third base side. Apologize for the slight lack of visibility at the shortstop position, as well as in the left center field gap due to the pole that is holding up the overhang here in Emerson. But, you know, that's why you have me here. I'll fill in the lines. 2-1. That is high for ball 3. Thomas trying to become the Kingsmen's first base runner here. Mentioned it earlier, they scored 2 runs against P27 in the first inning of the last time these two teams squared off. P27 answered right back with 3 of their own. 2-1. That ball is hit high in the air down the left field line, hooking toward the corner. It's got a chance, and it's off the wall. Thomas rounding first, heading to second, and he is into second base, the shortstop, all the way into left field to corral the baseball. Eli Thomas hits a double to get things started for the Kingsmen here in the first inning. And how about the youngster keeping the hot bat alive? That brings up Dino Catani out of Cincinnati, Ohio, with the chance to give the Kingsmen the first lead of this ball game. Double elimination here in LakePoint. The Kingsmen can afford a loss once, but given the format, you're going to want to save that loss for as long as possible. One of these teams can put it in the loss column right away Both teams will play their next game Wednesday, regardless of who wins and who loses. 1-0 here to Kitani. Pollock is in the dirt. That is the third straight hitter he has fallen behind 2-0 to. The first two took a big hack at the 2-0 pitch. We'll see if Kitani has the green light. The Kingsmen, with a win, would play at 12:15 on Wednesday. Right back here on field number 13. There's ball 3 to Dino. With a loss, they would play at 3 o'clock over right to our right on field number 14. 3-0 pitch. Kitani taking all the way, gets a generous call on the outside corner to make it 3-1. Kitani at the plate, Bernie on deck, then Harris Clark. Some big power bats at the meat of the Kingsman order. A look towards second, but no throw as Thomas is back in there safely. Eli Thomas, the second baseman, had a two-bagger here in the first inning. Decent lead off a second, and Pollock still giving him a little bit of a look. A fly out in a double, 2 balls hit into the air for the Kingsmen so far. Kitani, if he gets a good one, I'm sure he'll be looking for a third. 3-1 from Pollock, and it is high. That is a walk. First walk of the game for the right-hander Chase Pollock, and the Kingsmen have a couple on threatening here for Christian Bernie. Bernie was one of 2 Kingsmen hitters that took part in the home run derby yesterday. Had 2 home runs as part of his tandem with Israel Classe. They both had 2 for a total of 4. Christian Bernie has 4 home runs on the season. I guess it would make sense that he would have more home runs in 2.5 months than he has in 3 minutes yesterday. Christian Bernie, one of the floaters between the Prospect and Varsity teams. He's in the lineup here, batting cleanup. First pitch slide step from Pollock, and it's his first pitch strike here this morning, 0-1.
Go, Bart.
I'm good. How are you?
0-1 pitch. Grounded to third on 2 hops. Chance for 2. Knight to Aristi. On to first. In time. They get the around the horn double play to retire the side here in the first and extinguish the Kingsmen's early offensive opportunity. Bernie dove in head first into the bag, but out was the call. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Nemo Barnes trying to shut down P27 early right here on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Bottom of the first here in Emerson, Georgia, LakePoint, the site of today's ABA championship action. The regular season has culminated to a week-long double elimination tournament to crown the ABA's first ever winners. Seth Eckroth, the extra hitter in the P27 order. The Blacksmiths batting 10, and Eckroth the first to face Nemo Barnes. First pitch from Barnes here today is the ball low. Barnes out of Bowling Green, Ohio, the 2027 arm, making his first start in a couple of weeks. Started against ECA on the 21st of April through 3 innings, got the win in that ball game. 1-0. Foul tip into the glove of Jack Catron, who's catching Barnes today. Nemo, who has been one of the starting pitchers for the Kingsmen all season long, has made his last 3 appearances coming out of the bullpen. 1-1. Inside corner, gets the call, 1-2 to Eckroth. Barnes is the innings pitched leader on this Kingsman staff, 30 and a third, coming into today's ball game. 12th appearance, 8th start. 1-2 out of the windup. Nemo looking for his first out. His 1-2 is outside, and it rolls to the backstop. Jack Catron catching the Kingsman right-hander here today. He is joined in the infield by Christian Burney, Logan Daniel, Eli Thomas, and Harris Clark. Outfield turf, De La Cruz, Katani Wynant. 2-2. Breaking ball tapped toward third. It rolls toward the line and is foul. New look outfield for the Kingsmen, primarily because Caden McNeil is no longer a floater. Talked about that during the stream yesterday during the Home Run Derby when we were chatting with Caden. He is prospect only this week for LakePoint. So Katani moves to center. De La Cruz, the beneficiary, getting into the starting lineup. And Brody Wynant remains in right field, as we have often seen him this year. Christian Burney, after fielding that foul ball, headed into the Kingsman dugout. And all eyes are facing that way. Catron also left the premises. And now the two of them both jog back on. I believe it was more of a catching issue. Christian Burney is the other catcher on this varsity team. Both of them went to the dugout momentarily. 2-2 pitch is outside, and it is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Barnes will have to limit the free passes if the Kingsmen are to have some success here today, as the 3-2 is fouled off of the mask of Catron, and he seems a little bit shaken up. Catron going to take an extra second here. That took the mask right off of him. And here comes Preston Hudak and Nick Osmond. Catron looks like he's going to be all right to remain here in this game. The Raleigh native standing firm behind the plate, the human backstop today for the Kingsmen, and it's good to see him all right to continue in this one. The Kingsmen varsity team is short-staffed this week, just 13 players. Going to try to win the Kingsmen the first ever ABA varsity championship. 3-2 is inside, and it hits Eckroth. Hit by pitch to start the bottom of this first inning. It's considered a free pass by the Kingsman coaching staff, and it is something that will need to be limited. That's just the third batter that Barnes has hit this season. First pitch to the second hitter. It's a high fly ball on the right. Wynant chasing it toward the corner. It's a fair ball, and it's caught for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. That was Theo Lima who flew out on the first pitch, and there's 1 gone for Nico Knight. Interestingly, here at LakePoint, the video board out in left center field, of course, has the score and the runs, hits, and errors. I also spotted exit velocity and distance on that fly ball. It'll be interesting to see the numbers if the Kingsmen can maybe put one out at some point this week. That's a breaking ball away. Catron will send it down to first, and it's knocked down by Clark to keep it in the infield. Also spotting some pitching velo for Barnes. See what he is sitting on his fastball today. Nico Knight in the 3-hole, the third baseman. Barnes goes to check on first. Knight was listed in the lineup as number 9, but he is wearing the number 26. 1-0. Line drive foul off of the netting to the first base side of home plate. High 70s on the fastball that time from Barnes. Once again, making his 8th start of the season. He's 2-3 this year. He has 2 saves in 2 opportunities. Runner on first. That's Eckroth, who now dives back in as the throw heads his direction. Once again, I know the wind's picking up here at LakePoint. We can limit that by closing the window here in the press box. If that is something that those of you watching from home would appreciate, you just let me know. 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll wait. There's another throw to first. Kingsmen with the game today at both the varsity and prospect level. I'm going to start the tournament off strong. There's a high pitch, check swing, no swing, and back over to first safely is Eckroth. I believe it's now 2-1 to Knight with Pollock on deck. Foul tip, strike 2 into the glove of Catron. Kingsman outfield once again, De La Cruz, Catani, Wynant, infield, Bernie, Daniel, Thomas, Clark, Catron behind the plate. Two balls and 2 strikes. Barnes looking to get back-to-back hitters. His 2-strike pitch. On the outside, oh, just missed the outside corner. Pretty good from up here. It is 3-2. Catron framed it well, did not get the call from the home plate umpire, just the one umpire, at least for now. We'll see if we get a base umpire at some point here this morning. Another throw goes to first. Kingsman held scoreless despite a hit and a walk in the first inning. It was a double and a walk for Thomas and Catani, but a double play ended the proceedings in the top of the first. 3-2, runner on the move. And that is called strike 3. Throw down to second. And they've got him. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the inning. Knight goes down looking. Eckroth tagged out after a great throw from Jack Catron. We go to the second here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top of the second inning here, scoreless at LakePoint here in Emerson, Georgia, just north of the city of Atlanta. It's Harris Clark to lead things off against Pollock here in the second. He takes the ball just low, and it is 1-0. The Kingsmen got out of the bottom of the first with a strike him out, throw him out double play. Eckroth caught stealing at second moments after Nico Knight struck out. 1-0 is in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. Pollock has struggled to keep the ball in the zone early on. Two-0 pitch. Clark takes inside, and that is ball 3. Four-pitch walk here to start the second inning. First pitch inside to Winan. Brody Winan in the 6th hole today for the Kingsmen. It's Clark, Winan, and Catron due here in the second for the visitors. The Kingsmen, the visitors in this ball game, due to their seed. This higher seed is the home team in all of these games until the championship game. That's ball 2. The championship game, the team in the winner's bracket will be the home team, and then if necessary game is forced due to the team from the loser's bracket winning, then that team would be the home team in the final, I guess you could say. 3 balls to Brody Winan here. That is 7 in a row to start the second inning for Chase Pollock. Needs to find a way into the strike zone. And before the 3-0 pitch is thrown, here comes one of the coaches from P27, gives us an opportunity to take a look at some scores here going on around the complex. Varsity and prospect action underway here early. TNXL up 6-0 on ECA. If they win that ball game, they'll take on Central Point on the other side of the bracket later here today. The Kingsmen awaiting the result of this game to see if they would go on and play potentially Clubhouse Commanders. It would be either Clubhouse Commanders or the winner of Wellington and A3. Meanwhile, prospect side of things, Central Point has grabbed 2 more. They're up 4-1 on Wellington. The winner of that game plays the Kingsman prospect team at 3 o'clock. 3-0 from Pollock. He finds the zone for the first time here in the second inning. Elsewhere in the prospect division, it is ECA with a big lead against PDG, 8-1. In the bottom of the third. Runner on the move. Ground ball, third base side, just foul. Knight did not have much of a shot at it if it stayed fair. It got down the line quickly, but Winan just missed the line and just missed a likely double. Harris Clark had a decent jump on the 3-1 pitch, but he retreats with the foul ball. That ECA PDG game, the winner would play immediately after against Georgia Premier in the second round. 3-2. Winan pops it up, but foul. He is fighting hard. That ball ends up on the adjacent field here at LakePoint. Field number 13 here at PBR. LakePoint Sports. Soccer, beach volleyball also on the premises here. 3-2 to Winan, runner on the move again. Ground ball poked to third. No play at second with Clark on the move. They throw Winan out across the diamond for the first out of the inning as Harris moves into scoring position. It was Knight over to Sanchez to get Brody. But Clark now on second base for Jack Catron. There's 1 out here in a scoreless second inning. Both teams threatened in the first, but no one scored. The Kingsmen, for the second inning in a row now, have a runner in scoring position on second base. Catron will be trying to bring him home. De La Cruz, then Barnes, following on deck and in the hole here in the second inning. One hit for the Kingsmen, none yet for P27. A lot of time left in this ball game. I've been informed we're observing a 2.5-hour time limit, but plenty of time to go with the late start. Slide step, first pitch high to the Kingsman catcher, Jack Catron. Made a nice throw to get the Kingsmen out of the bottom of the first, threw out Eckroth at second base. Clark will be looking to score on a base hit. He's off of second right now, and now will take a couple steps toward the bag with Pollitt giving him a look. Kingsmen have a few parents here in town. Number of family in town to support both the varsity and the prospect teams as Catron hits one foul over the netting first base side. It is 1-1. Ball and a strike here with one away. The pitch from Pollock, again fouled off by Jack Catron. Catron had a hit in his last game against ECA. Looking for one here. 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. He has hit very well against the Bobcats this season. In the last 4 games against them, he has 4 hits, including 2 doubles. He had 2 RBIs last game in Lexington, South Carolina. 2-2. That is at the top of the zone, and it gets him looking. Bat on the shoulder with the looper coming in, and now De La Cruz will have to do the job here with 2 outs. Matt De La Cruz has heated up a little bit at the plate recently. He has that average up to 297. Having a pretty good year for the Kingsman varsity team. That ball hit into right, but it is caught. Hung up just enough for Sanchez. It looked like it had a chance to sneak through into right field, but it is caught and the inning is over. We go to the bottom of the second here at LakePoint. Scoreless between the Kingsmen and the Blacksmiths right here on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Back here in the bottom of the second inning, Kingsman Baseball on the air. I'm Griffin Leonard with you for ABA Championship action, round 1 of the winner's bracket here between the Kingsmen and P27. Nemo Barnes got through the first without a hit. He faces 4, 5, and 6 here in the bottom of the second. It starts with the P27 pitcher, Chase Pollock. First pitch from Nemo. That is in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. 0-0, bottom of the second. This game had about a half an hour delay due to a lack of umpires here for this field. That's ball 2 from Barnes. The other games got off as scheduled. And we got an umpire, I believe this umpire behind the plate is from one of the other fields. That's my understanding. He is behind the plate working a double shift of sorts. 3 balls and no strikes. Nobody out here. Barnes out of the windup trying to get into the zone. And that's at the top of the strike zone. Gets the call at the letters to make it 3-1. I'd like to thank you for joining us here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network today, wherever you may be. So there's ball 4 to let Pollock on. It's a walk, Nemo's first of the game after he hit a batter in the first inning. Second inning in a row for P27. The leadoff has reached. This is Andy Perez at the plate right now, hitting right-hand side, the P27 center fielder. Caught the first out of this ball game, and Logan Daniel hit it to right center field. First pitch, a breaking ball low, and it is 1 ball and no strikes. Kingsman prospect action beginning at 3 here this afternoon over on field number 11 against an opponent to be named. That game to determine their opponent happening right now on the other side of the complex. 1-0 pitch. Outside corner strike from Barnes. It's 1-1. Perez, then Aristi, the center fielder, then the second baseman. The middle of the order up right now for P27, looking to open up the scoring against the KBA. 1-1. Foul tip strike number 2. Kingsman double play depth right now, looking for an opportunity to roll a couple. They got out of the inning in 3 hitters despite allowing a base runner in the first after Jack Catron threw a runner out stealing. 2-strike pitch, that's away, and it's knocked down by Catron, 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning. Barnes out of the stretch. Just misses the outside corner. That's a couple that he's dropped near the outside edge. But that spot has not been there here in the first couple of innings here from our home plate umpire. It is 3-2 now, and Barnes will need to lock in order to get his first out. Here it is. Fastball. Got him. Second strikeout of the game for Nemo. Both of them looking. The second consecutive out recorded by way of a strikeout. 1 away here in the bottom of the second. Here comes Eric Aristi. First pitch from Barnes starts him off strong with a fastball. Lower 80s from Barnes today. He's been sitting around the 80-81 mark throughout the contest so far. 27 pitches now for Nemo. Here's a fly ball, hooking toward the corner, whining after it again, chasing toward the line, makes the catch, out toward the 320 sign in deep right field. Catch is made on Aristi for out number 2, and here comes Isaac Sanchez. Both balls put in play so far today by P27 have been flyouts to right field. First pitch, outside of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. The P27 first baseman, now the hitter up at the plate. For the Kingsmen in the third, it'll be Barnes, then the top of the order. 1-0. Inside corner strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 rows of seating here at the fields here at LakePoint. Some Kingsmen parents occupying some of those seats down the third base line. The Kingsmen in the third base dugout here this morning. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch is low. Isaac Sanchez ahead of the count. Bryce Munchell, the shortstop, will bat if P27 can extend the inning a little bit further. Barnes goes to first. Safe is the call. That was closer than it looked like it was going to be. Pollock shifted his weight towards second before realizing he had to dive back in, and that made it pretty close over there at first base. Another throw that direction. Clark lunging over Pollock this time to keep it in the infield. One of the nice things about this ballpark, the way it's shaped, is for one, there's not a whole lot of foul territory at all, but there is a fence that is angled back toward the field behind first and third base, which will be a first baseman's friend and a pitcher's friend too, as they go that direction again. If the ball were to get by Clark, it would bounce off of that fence and at least bounce generally back toward Clark and the Kingsmen in the fair territory side of the ballpark. There's a hard fly ball into left. De La Cruz makes the catch. And that does it for the second. Sanchez with the hardest hit ball of the game for the Blacksmiths. But nothing doing. We go to the third. All knotted up. Nothing here at LakePoint. It's the 2026 ABA Championships right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Nemo Barnes leading off the third for the KBA, 0-0 between two Northern Division rivals, and the Kingsmen and P27. Winner moves to the second round of the bracket where they would play either Clubhouse Commanders, Wellington Sports Academy, or A3 tomorrow. Nemo Barnes sees his first pitch, and he hits it off of either the home plate umpire's mask or the catcher's mask. It was so quick I could barely see it. But it is 0-1. I'd like to thank you all for watching here alongside for the first game of the ABA Championships first time slot. The first 5 games going on right now across various fields here in Emerson. That's a ball to Barnes. First time I've been here at LakePoint. Beautiful complex that I'm sure is pretty busy over the course of the year. 1-1. That is low again on the breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pollock is fighting through these innings, but he has not been doing himself many favors as far as trying to avoid getting behind in counts. He misses high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Barnes then the top of the Kingsmen order. Daniel and Thomas awaiting their opportunity. That is ball 4. Barnes draws the third walk from Pollock here today. And that puts the leadoff man on for the second consecutive frame for the Kingsmen. Top of the order for the second time, Logan Daniel worked a 2-0 count before flying out to right center. We're going to see a courtesy runner here for the pitcher. That puts Matt De La Cruz, who was the last recorded out for the Kingsmen, on first base. The Kingsmen looking to open up the scoring here in a matchup that has produced a number of close games this season. Kingsmen and P27 doing battle for what might be the final time here this year. Daniel pops up a bunt that hits the netting first base side of home plate. Landed just above the P27 dugout. Daniel squares early this time. The third baseman comes in. The 0-1 is high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Daniel potentially looking to bunt De La Cruz over to second base to bring up Thomas and Catani with a runner in scoring position. Eli Thomas hit a double off the left field wall, his first time to the plate. Slash bunt, chopped to second, and that ball is off of the second baseman's glove, and everyone is safe. Eric Aristi tried to field it quickly to tag De La Cruz, and he moved the glove toward DLC before he had the baseball secured. Everyone is safe. It is an error to put runners on second and first with nobody out. And what a moment this could be for the Kingsmen here in the top of the third inning. Here comes Thomas. And now Eli squares to bunt. He gets it down third base side. To first base they go, and the ball is away. Here comes De La Cruz, who will score the first run of the game. And it's corners with nobody out as Thomas executes the bunt. And the throw is wide from Nico Knight. It's 1-0 here in the third inning. Back-to-back errors from the infield from P27. Daniel moves to third on the errant throw. And the Kingsmen are up 1-0 here in the third. Dino Catani walked and was stranded at first base in the last inning. Out is the first of 2 runners in that 5-4-3 double play. First pitch from Pollock is high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 here at LakePoint here in Emerson, Georgia. 2 errors in the inning for P27 to go with the leadoff walk. Kingsmen have tried to square to bunt with their last 2 hitters. Catani keeps the bat on his shoulder here and takes ball 2. Thomas on first. Daniel is on third. 2-0 pitch. Catani swings away but lifts it foul third base side. So the Kingsmen have the early lead here, looking for a lot more. The first run scored here in LakePoint by either of these 2 teams. Thomas with a good lead on first base. 2-1. Catani into left field. That ball is down in front of Lima. Daniel trots home, and it's an RBI single for Dino Catani to give the Kingsmen a 2-0 lead. Eli Thomas up to second on the play, and 2 on with nobody out for Christian Burney. 2 runs in the inning. That was an opposite side base hit for Dino. And it does the job to make it 2-0. Burney squares now. And Burney wears it on the wrist. Did he pull the bat back? If he did, it is bases loaded. He tosses the bat aside and trots down to first. And it is bases loaded with nobody out. There was hesitation around the infield by both teams. The hands went up from the umpire, but of course that could mean foul ball or it could mean a hit by pitch. And Bernie tossed his bat aside, and it was at that moment that the runners on base headed from second and first to second and third. Bases loaded, nobody out for one of the hottest bats on this Kingsmen team. Harris Clark has been on fire. And here he comes in a huge spot. First pitch from Pollock. Clark swings away and hits it a mile high. The catcher watches it go as it hits off the overhang above us here in Emerson. Clark hitting just .240 on the year. But 1 month ago, that was in the 100s. He has been on a tear. He was on a 6-game hitting streak prior to last time out against ECA. That's 1-1, and it gets past the catcher to the backstop. It goes, and Thomas scores. Wild pitch played to third. The Kingsmen with another here in what has been a productive third inning. Second and third now for Clark with nobody out. Harris in the last month has 4 home runs and 2 doubles. 2 balls and 1 strike now for Harris. Get that slugging percentage up over .550. 2 balls and a strike with runners in scoring position. Infield is in for P27. And the inside corner strike makes it 2-2. Winan is on deck for the Kingsmen, and here comes the second umpire. All right. Base umpire trots out of absolutely nowhere. He just appeared and is now behind the pitcher's mound on the infield. 2-2. That ball hit in the air, left field, playable. In comes Lima. He makes the catch in fair territory. They're going to test him. Throw to the plate on a hop's a good one. And the tag is in time. Katani thrown out at the plate. And they get 2 outs on 1 swing from Clark. As Bernie moves to third, that is a huge out for the Blacksmiths as they try to contain this big inning. That is a huge potential momentum swinger. Kingsman with 3 runs in the inning. That was the first out on the fly ball, but aggressive with the send. And Lima makes a good throw to make him pay. Winan takes the ball inside. Brody grounded out to the third baseman, his first time to the plate. The Kingsmen still have Christian Bernie on third base. They're looking for an opportunity to bring him home. Inside half of the zone to make it 1-1. Barnes will come back out momentarily for the bottom of the third inning. He'll face the bottom 3 in the P27 order: Munchell, Blankenship, and Frazier. 1-1. That ball up the middle. It's a base hit. Bernie comes home, and it is an RBI single from Winan to make it 4-0. Second hit of the inning for the Kingsmen, both of them singles, and both of them have brought in runs. Not sure if that would have been enough to score Christian Bernie had he been on second base, so I guess it is still up in the air whether the send from third has hurt the Kingsmen here in the 4th inning. 2 outs, runner just on first now, and it is Jack Catron up at the plate. They go to first. Kingsmen always have, or seem to have, a big inning against these Blacksmiths at some point in the game. It seems like almost every time these two teams have played this season, you have innings of, I guess, just waiting for one of these teams to come alive, and then the big innings hit you out of nowhere. As Catron hits a ball to short, it's off of the glove, but the shortstop recovers. Munchell takes it to the bag and gets the fielder's choice to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. The Kingsmen scored 4 runs in the top of the third. They have the lead. We'll be right back here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the third inning, Nemo Barnes getting ready to start his third inning of work against the bottom three in the P27 order. The offense picked him up, and it started with a Nemo Barnes walk. The Kingsmen brought 7 hitters to the plate in that productive third inning, scoring 4 runs on 2 singles, a couple of errors, and a couple of walks. The Kingsmen with the lead. Now they'll try to hold it down. A score update for you as we take you around the ABA Championships. Varsity action on other fields. TNXL still up 8-0 on ECA at the varsity level. I do have a score update for you for that A3 Wellington game. 12-2 for A3. If A3 holds on, they'll play Clubhouse Commanders to play the winner of this game in round number 2. First pitch from Barnes of the bottom of the third. That's a low and away fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. I guess you could say this game is in round 2. That's just low of the knees. 2 balls and no strikes. Not quite a play-in, but you have teams playing in the first round, the 7 through 10 seeds, versus the first 6 that technically got a bye. That ball is popped up foul, 2-1. So we're here in round 2, I guess you could say, between the Kingsmen and P27. Winner moves to round 3 of the winner's bracket and takes on the winner of Clubhouse Commanders and either Wellington or A3. 2-1. And that is just outside. That outside corner just has not been there today for Nemo Barnes. Prospect side of things, ECA now up 11-2 on PDG, and Central Point has continued to open up their lead against Wellington. It is now 6-1 in that one as Barnes allows the leadoff walk. Through 2 innings, Barnes had allowed the leadoff hitter to reach in both frames. Has not allowed a base runner outside of the leadoff spot. They go to first. Clark does not apply the tag. So Central Point now up 6-1 on Wellington. The winner of that game plays the Kingsman Prospect team at 3 o'clock over on field 11. We hope you can join us here again on the broadcast for that ball game. If you're unable to be here in Emerson with us, thanks for joining us here this morning. Early start time, I know, but hey, we had a little bit of a delay. So if you overslept your alarm clock and you're missing less of the game than you thought you probably were going to. Runner on first, nobody out. Barnes once again goes to first, and that hits the base runner. That was off of Bryce Munchell, the P27 shortstop, who's on first base after drawing the walk. Once again, glad to see that we have a base umpire now a couple of innings into this ball game. He's making those pickoff calls, and now we'll judge that back pick. It looked pretty good from Catron. Safe the call at first base. 1 ball and no strikes. Catron's already thrown out 1 runner today. Caught Seth Eckroth stealing to end the first inning. Here comes Joe Hudak to talk to Nemo Barnes. We're going to step aside and be back. Bottom 3, 4-0. Kingsmen up on the Blacksmiths of P27. Back here after a pretty quick mound visit. 1-0 count. Barnes pitching to Matt Blankenship, the P27 right fielder. And he just misses high. 2 balls and no strikes. Barnes nearing 40 pitches here in his start. Trying to get the Kingsmen as much as possible on the mound here this morning. There's a strike at the bottom of the zone dropped by Jack Catron. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the third. And that is in the dirt. 3 balls and 1 strike. The Clubhouse Commanders arriving for their game they'll play next against the winner of game number 2 going on at field number 10, Wellington and A3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the third. In there at the knees. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count. Barnes looking for his first out here in the third. Gets a ground ball up the middle, and it is past Daniel and into center. First hit of the ball game comes in the third for P27. The bottom of the order fighting back. I mentioned it earlier. The Kingsmen and P27, when they have played this season, seems like you'll just have periods of back and forth, tight 0-0 baseball, and then the big innings come out of nowhere, and they come sometimes in clumps. One team will have one, the other team will answer right back. Barnes needs to nip this in the bud here with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. It's the 10-hole hitting Matthias Frazier. He squares, bunts it, popped up foul off of the netting, 0-1. Second and first, nobody out. P27 down 4, but they'd love to get 2 of those 4 into scoring position here in the third inning. Been playing for about an hour here at LakePoint. They throw to second, and the ball missed Logan Daniel on the throw from Barnes. I think they would have had him at second base if that throw was on the money. Instead, it went into center, but the runner does not try for third. Munchell looked lost out there at second base, but the throw from Barnes not on target. Corners are in for the Kingsmen in case Frazier squares again. Bats on his shoulder for now. And here's the 0-1. Outside corner strike. They've got him behind 0-2. Top of the order waiting after this. The extra hitter at Croft, waiting for his second hits. He is on deck swinging right now, right-hand side. The lefty bears down for the 0-2. Hits it hard at Bernie. Diving stop. They go back to second. And Thomas is on the bag for the double play. Christian Bernie lays out and delivers a dart from his knees. And Thomas muscling out a catch with his foot on the bag for 2 quick outs here in the third to try and extinguish this rally. What a play by the Kingsmen infield. 2 outs, top of the order for P27, and a check on Blankenship, who singled. That ball could have been down the line to bring in P27's first run. Instead, Bernie catches and throws out a second runner, and now the Kingsmen nearly out of the inning. Breaking ball, 1 ball, no strikes. In the top of the fourth for the Kingsmen, it'll be 8-9-1 after they nearly batted around in the third. De La Cruz will lead it off, then Barnes, then Daniel. 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 hit in the inning for P27. Their first of the game. The Kingsmen looking to stay in the winner's bracket. Got the round 1 bye. Looking to advance to the third round and play Wednesday. And that ball hit in the air left center field. De La Cruz and Catani toward it. It is Dino Catani that sends us to the fourth. Barnes works out of trouble. How about the double play? Bernie to Thomas off the bat of Matthias Frazier. We head to the fourth. 4-0. Kingsmen lead right here at LakePoint on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here for the fourth, De La Cruz digs in as the Kingsmen leadoff man. Had a 4-run inning last frame, looking to do some more damage, and it starts with DLC, the Kingsmen left fielder. Pollock back out there for his fourth inning of work. He deals a fastball on the outside corner to make it 1-1. 1-1 from Pollock. That is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. A little bit of a breeze once again here in Emerson. Hopefully it's not making things too difficult to hear on the stream, as that's inside on the corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out. De La Cruz, then the bottom of the order, Nemo Barnes. It'll be Logan Daniel for his third at-bat. De La Cruz waves and misses. Strike 3. First pitch to Nemo. Foul tip, strike 1 into the glove of Frazier. For P27, it's Lima, Perez, and Blankenship in the outfield. Knight, Munchel, Oristi, Sanchez in the infield. Nemo Barnes taking his second hacks after his walk led off that big third. Takes a strike. He's quickly behind 0-2. And that is a 3-pitch strikeout for Nemo Barnes as Pollock starts to turn on the Jets here. Only had 1 strikeout through 3 innings, and he has back-to-back strikeouts against the Kingsmen hitters here in the 4th inning. Here comes Logan Daniel. Daniel, an OBP up near 400. He's going to try to bunt himself aboard with 2 down. Pollock to first, and that ball off of the netting and into shallow right. Daniel is there with 2 down. We'll see how it's scored, as it appeared to be close over at first base. Watching it back, it does look like that throw would have beat him, so we'll call it an error. And now high to Eli Thomas with the runner on first and 2 away. Second time in a row, Daniel has reached on an error by a P27 infield. 1 ball and no strikes, 2 down for Thomas, who has a double in this one. Outside corner to make it 1-1. Thomas has reached both times he's been to the plate. He has reached on a double and on an error by the third baseman. Throw to first. It was Eli that had bunted the ball down the third base line and then reached on a poor throw by the third baseman, Nico Knight. That scored the Kingsmen's first run. 1-1. Eli takes high, ball 2. Two balls and a strike. Clipped the corner that time. Thomas did not like it. 2-2. Bottom 4, we'll see 2, 3, 4 for P27. Lima, Knight, and Pollock trying to get back into this ball game. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Pollock, who has turned on the Jets pitching, as the P27 starts to wind up its bullpen. We'll see if they need it as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Nemo Barnes back out there when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom of the fourth here in Emerson, Georgia. Barnes to face Theo Lima, who flew out to right on the first pitch he saw back in the first. 4-0 lead for the Kingsmen. Lima taking on the first pitch, takes a breaking ball in there to make it 0-1. The Kingsmen, I'm sure, loving what they're seeing out of Nemo, who's thrown 50 pitches here in this ballgame. There's a fly ball out to right. Winant toward foul ground. A couple steps inside the line, makes the catch, and for the second time, Lima is out on a fly ball to Brody Winant in right field. One out here in the bottom of the fourth. 4-0, the Kingsmen lead. Just 4 total hits in this ballgame between the two teams. 3 for the Kingsmen, 1 for the Blacksmiths. That is in the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. The Kingsmen had 2 hits in that big third inning that saw them score 4 runs, but the 4 runs came as a slight result of the 2 errors in the inning by P27. They now have 3 total. 2 balls and no strikes. Nico Knight ahead of the count on Barnes. Here's the 2-0. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. That fly out to start the fourth was the first time that Barnes had gotten the leadoff hitter of the inning out. See if he can avoid walking Knight with 1 down. He drops a strike in there to make it 3-1. Kingsmen will have a break during this next time slot of game action, and they'll be back for 3 for the prospect team. 3 o'clock start on field number 11, as there is a walk to put a runner on first with 1 away. Third walk of the game for Nemo Barnes. Just 1 hit, a single by Matt Blankenship on a ground ball up the middle. P27 has not been able to hit him much at all when he's had the ball over the plate. That is just outside to Chase Pollock, who walked to start the second inning. And that is high. 2 balls and no strikes. Line drive center field, down in front of Catani. Second hit of the ball game for the Blacksmiths, and it comes from the P27 pitcher Chase Pollock, who reaches for the second time. And once again, the home team threatening here against Barnes in the bottom of the fourth. I can tell you we have our first 2 games that have gone final here at LakePoint this tournament, as Barnes prepares to take on Andy Perez. Strike 1 on the slider. ECA at the prospect level has defeated PDG 15-2. That final score puts the Bobcats into round number 3 of the winner's bracket. They'll take on Georgia Premier. That game is set to start here in about an hour. TNXL also making quick work of the Bobcats of ECA at the varsity level. That is just outside, 1-1. TNXL, the Ducks beating the Bobcats 10-0. And with that result, the Bobcats move on to face Central Point at 3 o'clock right here at field number 13. 1-1. That ball hit hard into left in front of De La Cruz on a hop. De La Cruz whips it in to Bernie, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. Perez puts together a single, back-to-back hits for P27, who now have the same amount of hits as the Kingsmen in this contest. And this is now a huge moment for Eric Aristi for the Blacksmiths, who are down by 4, and the tying run is at the plate. Here comes Joe Hudak. Mentioned it a couple times already that 2 other games are going on right now here at LakePoint. Central Point and Wellington Sports Academy in the Prospect Division 9-1 as it stands. It has been 9 unanswered for Central Point against the Gators of Wellington Sports Academy since their first run of that ball game. Winner takes on the Kingsmen at 3 o'clock. And then A3 at the varsity level, having a good day against Wellington. Tough day for the Gators at both levels. 12-3 is the score for the A3 Academy varsity team. And take on Clubhouse Commanders in round number 2. Big moment here for Nemo Barnes. He's got the Kingsmen through 3 1/3. Mentioned it earlier, but they are shorter staffed in terms of the pitching staff and in terms of the roster as a whole. Just 13 players for the Kingsmen varsity team this week. And you know Nemo Barnes will be trying to get through as much as he possibly can. Bases are loaded with 1 out. And Barnes pitching to Eric Aristi. First pitch swinging. It's a foul ball. The Kingsmen have gotten themselves out of trouble a couple of times already today. Strike them out, throw them out, double play in the first. They had a line drive double play in the third. See if they can conjure up something to escape this fourth without a run. 0-1 pitch from Nemo. Got it at the knees, 0-2. Aristi bending over, he can't believe it. Isaac Sanchez is on deck. Both of them had flyouts last time to the plate. 0-2 for Nemo Barnes, who nods his head and comes home. Fly ball left field. De La Cruz a long run, and he makes the catch. With the runner tagging from third, it'll be a sac fly to make it 4-1. But De La Cruz tracks it down to limit the damage, and there are 2 outs. Aristi with some good 2-strike hitting. Barnes left that one a little bit up in the zone, and Aristi was able to hit it well enough to bring in P27's first run of the ball game. So 4-1 is the score. Runner tagged from third, but the other runners held. So it is second and first 2 down for Isaac Sanchez in a 3-run ball game. Tying run still at the plate. The pitch from Barnes. That is low and away. 1 ball, no strikes here, 2 away. Bottom of the 4th inning between the Kingsmen and the Blacksmiths. Kingsmen in the 5th will bring up 3, 4, and 5, where they will be looking to take back the run that they just conceded and then some. 1-0. That is in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Barnes approaching 70 pitches. He probably will not be able to get the Kingsmen the whole way there. They will need the bullpen. The question will be who comes from it. Barnes taking some extra time here. P27 scoring its first run of the game here in the bottom of the 4th, an earned run against Barnes after a walk, and then 2 singles loaded the bases. 2-0. There's a line drive slash to the first base side and foul. 2-1. That is Kason Young's father that is retrieving that foul ball. In town to support his son from Alberta, Canada. Two and 1 pitch. Ground ball to Daniel. A chopper, and Logan takes it to the bag to end the inning. 1 run across for the home Blacksmiths. But that is all they get. We head to the 5th, 4-1 lead. The Kingsmen here in LakePoint. It's the 2026 ABA Championships right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Dino Catani leads off the fifth for the Kingsmen here at LakePoint here in Emerson, Georgia. Sun is shining a little bit as Catani rips it down the line. A first pitch, fair ball down into the corner. Catani rounding first, heading for second. He's got a chance at three here. The ball comes into the shortstop Munchell, who fires to third, and the tag is not in time. A leadoff triple for Dino Catani. And the Ohio native has sprung this inning into high gear. P27 nearly had him on that relay. The throw was over the head of the initial cutoff man, but that's why you run the double cut in that scenario. Munchell made a great throw, and they nearly had him at third. So a leadoff triple puts Christian Burney at the plate, and the Kingsmen have a chance to grab that run right back. First pitch. And he hits a fly ball. Shallow left. Back on it goes the shortstop Munchell, who makes the catch. Catani will not tag. Catani was thrown out at home last time he tried to score on a fly ball. Thrown out by the left fielder. So 2 pitches into this inning, a triple and a pop out. And here comes Harris Clark. Pollock at least doing a good job to keep the pitch count down. That is outside for a ball. He's also into the 70s now in this start. P27 has had their bullpen active. A right-hander throwing right now down the line. 1-0. Clark with the foul ball to make it 1-1. Infield is in for P27. They're down 3 runs, trying to keep the Kingsmen's 5th score off the board. Clark, his last time, flew out to left field, trying to score Catani from third on that fly out. Now takes the ball inside, 2-2. Thanks for joining us here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network for ABA Championship action. We hope to see you here on the stream at 3 o'clock for prospect ball. Outside, 3 balls and a strike now. Misspoke after the last pitch. It is now 3-1. Clark, then Wynant, then Catron. Catani with the leadoff triple, but has not been able to come in yet. 3-1. Clark skies it, but foul. 3-2. Would not have been deep enough to score Catani. Clark is 0 for 1 with a walk and the fly out to left. Full count from Chase Pollock. That misses. It's a walk. Second time Clark has drawn the free pass. He walked to lead off the second inning and now walks with 1 out here in the 5th. And it's corners for Wynant with the Kingsmen up 3. High for ball 1. To Brody. And Wynant takes an outside corner strike. He had a single his last time. He's 1 for 2. One pitch. And it's a foul tip, strike 2. Clark was way off of first base. And then kind of jogged back to first base. That was a really awkward play. They could have tried to throw down to first to tag him out. That was a live ball on the foul tip. 1-2. There's a fly ball, but it is not deep. It is on the second base side of the infield and is caught by Eric Aristi for a big second out as Catani has to hold. Kingsmen have gotten a couple balls in the air, but neither has been deep enough to score Dino. And now they're in danger of having a leadoff triple and not scoring a run. Catron trying to muscle across the Kingsmen's runner from third, and that is a foul ball. Hit into the netting right-hand side, 0-1. Wellington Sports Academy making an effort to get back into the prospect game against Central Point. They have scored 4 runs in the 5th. That makes it 9-5. Kingsmen keeping an eye on that one. Their prospect opponent, TBD, as that ball popped up to Aristi second base side, and the catch is made. Pollock with 3 big outs to get out of the inning and keep the runners on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It remains 4-1 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom of the 5th here, Nemo Barnes back on the mound after the Kingsmen were unable to get anything back in the top half. Barnes back out there to face the 8, 9, and 10 hitters here in the P27 order. Munchell, Blankenship, Frazier, they gave him some trouble last time up. And Munchell hits a foul ball off of his foot. Bernie was over there to retrieve it just in case it was called a fair ball, but it was called dead at the plate. I can now tell you that right before the break, told you Wellington had scored 4 in the 6th. That is now 5. Or rather, in the 5th. They've scored 5 runs in the 5th inning. It is now 9-6 Central Point in the bottom of the 5th inning of that ball game. Hoping for an exciting finish of that one, as here comes the 1-1 to Munchell. Fly ball shallow center. Thomas ranging into the outfield. And he calls ball and catches ball, 1 out. Tell you what else the Kingsmen are hoping for in that game. They're hoping for a long battle. Preferably one that uses up a lot of pitchers. The Kingsmen, as the 2 seed in the prospect bracket, get the advantage of playing a team that has already played today. And if they can watch those two teams slug it out for a while with their feet up on the couch, they will be certainly pleased. There's a first pitch start to Blankenship, who has the first hit of the game for P27. They've since grabbed two more, all singles off of Nemo Barnes. 0-1. Blankenship off the end of the bat. Clark into foul ground makes the catch on an awkward hit by Blankenship. Two quick outs here in the fifth inning. Two outs. Barnes' first pitch hit high in the air, deep center for Frazier, but Catani looks comfortable and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. How about Nemo Barnes working quickly in the fifth? That does the Kingsmen some big wonders. We go to the sixth. We'll be right back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top of the sixth here in Emerson, Georgia. The Kingsmen battling the P27 Blacksmiths. 2 innings away from wrapping up a victory to start off the week. And De La Cruz trying to do his part. Where's the first pitch from Chase Pollock, who is back out there for his 6th inning. We'll see if he makes it through the 6th. Pitching up into the 80s as far as pitch count is concerned. And Nemo Barnes has a base runner. Central Point threatening in the bottom of the 5th. They have the bases loaded and nobody out in that one. Barnes squares, pulls back at the last second. It's ball 1 outside. Try to get you a few more updates on that Wellington and Central Point game. The Kingsmen Varsity will be waiting on the winners of certain matchups, regardless of if they win or lose. As Barnes gets the bunt down first base side, pitcher over to it, Pollock underhand at first, and it is a well-executed sacrifice bunt that moves De La Cruz to second base. We're in scoring position for Logan Daniel, who has reached 2 of the 3 times that he's been to the plate, but he doesn't have anything to show for it in the average batting. He has reached on an error twice. We have just about an hour left to go in this one before the time limit that has been imposed for the varsity division here in the tournament comes into play, but at least as far as we are concerned so far, we are on track to finish 7, or at least finish 6, and be forced to play 7 before that time ever came into effect. Logan Daniel has that on his shoulder, 1 ball and no strikes. Pollock glances towards second, comes to the plate and misses high. 2 balls and no strikes now the count. Daniel is in control out front of the pitcher. Bullpen continues to get ready, and a P27 coach walking that direction to check on the progress. 2-0 count with De La Cruz on second. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. Eli Thomas is on deck. 3-0. Outside, a 4-pitch walk. So a hit by pitch, a sac bunt, and a walk puts runners on second and first and one away for Eli Thomas. And here comes the P27 coach. That may be it for Pollock. He has thrown 91 pitches, 5 1/3 innings of good baseball on the mound. He has been plagued by a couple of unearned runs as a result of some errors, and he exits the game with 1 out in the 6th as the Kingsmen are threatening to pull away here in the second to last inning of the ball game. A new pitcher comes to the mound when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. New pitcher for the Blacksmiths of P27. It took until the 6th inning for either team to go to its bullpen. Both teams getting the most out of their starting pitching here today in anticipation of playing quite a number of games this week here at LakePoint. The Kingsmen still have Nemo Barnes out on the mound. We'll see if he comes out for the 6th. There is no one down in the bullpen for the Kingsmen. Meanwhile, the P27 Blacksmiths have moved to Braden Mott wearing the number 32, the right-hander. Last pitched against the Kingsmen back at Gardner-Webb University in April. Part of that home doubleheader in conference play between the Kingsmen and P27. That Kingsmen 5-0 shutout win. It is De La Cruz on second and Daniel on first for the two-hole hitting Eli Thomas. Dino Catani and Christian Burney up next. They are hoping for an opportunity to come up with runners aboard here in the 6th inning. That is in there to Thomas. First strike thrown by Mott. Clears at second. De La Cruz takes off. The ball is hit into right. Kingsman might have to scramble back. That ball's toward the corner. It's down. It's into the corner. De La Cruz coming around. Here comes Logan Daniel. He will get the stop sign. It's the second double of the game for the 8th grader, Eli Thomas. Thomas with his second double, and this time it brings in a run to make it 5-1. He is having a day. The second baseman finds the right field corner with the fly ball that just kept on hooking away from the right fielder, Matt Blankenship. De La Cruz scores, and the Kingsmen are up 4 once again. There's a ground ball to the second base side, knocked down by Aristi, throws to first on a hop, and it's in time to get Dino. A run scores on the ground ball. Aristi nearly made another error. He recovered just in time. Daniel scores to make it 6-1. Eli Thomas moves to third, and Christian Burney comes to the plate. I can tell you that another game has gone final here at LakePoint. A3 defeating Wellington Sports Academy by the 10-run rule, 13-3. The final score. That puts A3 into winners bracket round number 2. Bernie takes that ball outside. A3 will take on Clubhouse Commanders right here at Field 13 at the conclusion of this ball game. 1 ball and no strikes. Bernie swings away and fouls it off, 1-1. So the only game still going besides this one that we have here for you live on the Kingsmen Baseball Network is that Wellington Sports Academy and Central Point game that will determine who the Kingsmen play later on this afternoon. That's ball 2 outside to Bernie. I can tell you Central Point has clawed back 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. That makes it 12-6, and Wellington has some more work to do. Fly ball right field, but foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It hooks out of play off the bat of Bernie. The Kingsmen up 5 runs, 6-1 is the score. They need 6 outs in order to wrap up what has been a relatively quick-moving battle between the Kingsmen and P27. 2-2. High for ball 3. If Bernie reaches, it'll be Harris Clark, who has walked twice and flown out. Christian Bernie is without a hit, has grounded into a double play, has popped out, and he has been hit by a pitch. 3-2. As Bernie digs in. That is ball 4. Not enough away from the catcher to tempt Eli Thomas, who remains on third base. But it is the second time that Christian Bernie has reached in the contest. Here comes Clark. First pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Mock's pitch gets under the glove of the catcher. Here comes Thomas, and that makes it 7. They take advantage of the wild pitch that just got under the glove of Matthias Frazier. Frazier, I don't think, even realized it initially. Bernie moves to second. The Kingsmen now up 6 runs here in the top of the 6th inning. A 3 spot here in the penultimate inning of this ball game. Clark takes inside half, strike number 2. It'll be the top of the order for P27 in the 6th, who will be hungry for offense, managing just 1 run on Nemo Barnes through the first 5 innings. 2-strike pitch, outside corner. Clark called out, and the inning is over. The Kingsmen grab 3 more. They are in control. Looking to lock things down once again when we come back. It's the 2026 ABA Varsity Championships here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Home half of the sixth here in Emerson, Georgia. LakePoint Sports, the site of the 2026 ABA Championships, the first season of the Academy Baseball Association concluding here with this double elimination tournament. There is a high fly ball on the right, and it is over Brody Winan. First pitch of the inning is a good swing for Seth Eckroth, and it's a leadoff double for P27, who's going to need some more of that if they're going to come back and win this ball game. Down 6 runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That is hit number 4, and it is into the gap over the head of the right fielder Winan to put a runner on second with nobody out for Theo Lima. Lima, the left fielder, has flown out to Winan twice here in the ball game. Swings and misses at that one. I think if he got that on it, it would have been heading to the left side. He was out front of that curveball, 0-1. Kingsmen still out hitting the Blacksmiths 5-4 here in this ball game. 0-1. That is low, and the count is even. That double by Seth Eckroth was the first extra base hit of the game for the home P27 Blacksmiths. The Kingsmen have three extra base hits, 2 doubles from Eli Thomas and a triple from Dino Catani. That's a foul ball, strike 2. Nemo Barnes just threw his 80th pitch. Curious to see how long they let him go in this, especially if they might need him in a short 2 or 3 days. 1-2. Fly ball left center. Coming in on it. Catani's got a ways to go. Catani to his knees makes a nice catch. The wind killed that fly ball, but Catani recovered and made a nice catch for out number 1. He took his first step back and then started hustling, and you could have seen it watching on the live stream just to the right of that pole. Catani making a nice catch for out number 1. Here's Nico Knight. Curveball in there. Both teams that are playing in the next game on this field have now arrived. The Commanders watching on from the first base side of the ballpark in A3 after their win have started warming up on the field to our left. 0-1. That is at the knees, 0-2. That matchup here at this field number 13 will be the 1 against the 8 seed. Clubhouse Commanders, the 1 seed here in the Varsity division. They'll play against the A3 Trojans. 0-2. Struck him out. Catron will have to go to first. He throws on time to Clark, and Eckroth does not try for third. That is the second time that Barnes has struck out Nico Knight. That is his 3rd strikeout here in this ball game after he did not have a strikeout the second time through the P27 order. Barnes putting on a clinic. 2 outs here in the 6th. 1 run, 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 84 pitches. Trying to get through his 6th full inning of work in this tournament opening game for the Kingsmen. 7-1 is the score. And Chase Pollock is at the plate. Low of the zone. Pollock started this game on the mound for P27, pitched 5 1/3. He is in line for the loss, but at the plate now, he would love to get the Blacksmiths a step closer to turning that around. 1-0 pitch. That is low and away. 2 balls and no strikes. In the 7th for the Kingsmen, it'll be 6, 7, and 8. Winan, Catron, De La Cruz. Kingsmen got some insurance in the top half of this inning, 3 runs. Trying to hold P27 here. There is a fastball in there. A good one from Barnes, who's down a couple miles an hour in his velocity, but still hitting the upper 70s with the fastball. 87 pitches into his start. The Bowling Green native making his first start in about 3 weeks after his last 2 appearances came out of the bullpen. 2-1. Ground ball third base side, past the dive of Bernie and into left field. Eckroth rounds third and comes home. The throw goes into second base, and it is 7-2. Pollock with the RBI. It's a 5-run game. Nemo going to take a second and get the shoelaces squared away. The Kingsmen, despite Barnes at 88 pitches now, without anyone in the bullpen, they're trusting Nemo to get them through this 6th inning. He comes set with the runner on first, working out of the stretch to Andy Perez. Fly ball down the line, hooking foul and out of play as Winan has to stop his momentum to avoid crashing into the fence. Mentioned it earlier, you can sort of see down the lines, but not enough into the corner. Pan it really quickly so you can see the lack of foul territory here at the ballpark. As mentioned, 0-1. And another foul ball, 0-2. So if the ball goes down the line, not only is there not a whole lot of room for the ball to land in foul territory without getting up and over the fence, if the ball stays down the line, it will stay relatively close to the chasing outfielders. It won't rebound into the corner too much. 0-2, outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I do believe that the 8 fields here at LakePoint are pretty similar configurations. Maybe slight deviations, but the general field shape is the same. And it is something to watch this week here in Emerson. A couple of strikes to Perez, and that is low. Two balls and 2 strikes. Nemo coming set. Pitch 92. Just missed outside. A shake of the head from the home plate umpire. If Perez gets on, it'll be Eric Aristi. 3 balls and 2 strikes, time called by the hitter. Runner will be on the move from first. Pollock on for the 3rd time today. He has done about all he can at the plate to try to help out his own pitching performance. 3-2. Just outside, the check swing was nowhere close to coming around, and it is a 2-out walk. There is some action in the Kingsmen bullpen. How much more does Nemo Barnes have in the tank as he gets set to throw pitch number 95 here in the 6th inning? This season, Nemo has thrown no more than 83 pitches in a start. That came in 5 2/3 innings against P27. He's got a chance to get through 6 as Winan tracks down the fly ball and makes the catch. Nemo Barnes threw 6 for the first time in a Kingsman uniform, and it comes on a big stage. He gets out of the inning with just 1 run across, and the Kingsmen take a 5-run lead into the 7th as we hit noon here in Georgia. We'll be right back here on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Winan lead it off the 7th, a 5-run game against Braden Mott and P27. Mott in relief of Pollock last inning. His first pitch is a ball to Brody. It is 6, 7, and 8 for the Kingsmen, the 6th seed coming in against the 3-seeded Blacksmiths. The Kingsmen have had P27's number this season, despite being a lower seed than them in the regular season. Looking for one more win against their Carolina rivals here this morning. 3 balls and no strikes. It's a busy day for P27. Their premier team has the day off due to their premier team getting the number 1 overall seed, regular season champions, as that fastball is in there. Their prospect team getting ready to go in about 10 minutes over on field number 11, P27 and DSC. That's a strike to make it 3-2. That's one the Kingsmen will be watching as well, because if the Kingsmen prospect team wins their game this afternoon, they'll play the winner of that one. 3-2. Yeah. At the knees, Winan down looking. The 6th ended with a looking strikeout. The 7th starts with one, and here comes Jack Cager. First pitch foul ball from Cager. Bottom of the 6th over there in the Central Point Wellington Sports Academy game. Once again, Central Point starting to breathe a little easier. They're up 5 once more. It is 11-6. There's a fly ball down the line, hooking toward the corner, but it is foul. Catron hit it well, but was late, and it is 0-2. So if Central Point holds on, they will play the Kingsmen in game number 1 for the prospect team. There's strike number 3 to Catron. Back-to-back strikeouts for Mott. Central Point has thrown 2 pitchers in that one. Their starter went 4 innings, gave up a run, and struck out 8. De La Cruz went around at 0-1. Their reliever was the one who immediately got into trouble. 5 runs, only 2 of them earned. 6 hits in 2 innings pitched. That is high for ball 1. They head to the 7th in that one, where Wellington will need 5 to tie, 6 to take the lead in order to remain alive in that ball game. De La Cruz has an even count. Mott out of the windup, his pitch. DLC hits it foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'd like to thank those of you one more time for joining us here this afternoon for Kingsmen Varsity Baseball. The ABA Championships are off and running. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And De La Cruz sees it on the outside corner, lets it go, and that is the inning. Braden Mott strikes out the side in the 7th. All 3 strikeouts with the bat on the Kingsmen's shoulders. The Kingsmen are 3 outs away from a win. We'll see who takes the mound when we come back. Bottom 7 here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We welcome you back here to the Kingsmen Baseball Network here at LakePoint, Emerson, Georgia. LakePoint Sports, one of the shining stars in the Georgia baseball scene, and we are here, and the Kingsmen are 3 outs away from a win. Nemo Barnes is back out there. We'll see how long. Nick Osborne, the assistant pitching coach, is out at the bullpen monitoring an unnamed player warming up. There is a tree blocking my view, so I cannot see who is down in the bullpen. There's a fly ball. It's going to hook away from Catani. Long run into the gap. Catani cannot get there on the dive. Winan backing him up, throws it into the cut, and it is a leadoff double. Just as the 6th started, P27 rips a double into right center field off of Nemo Barnes. And that puts the leadoff man on here in the 7th. P27 will need some more. Here's Bryce Munchell. Kingsmen unable to grab anything else in the top of the 7th after going down 1, 2, and 3. They take a 5-run lead here into the game's final inning. Despite being out-hit now with that double, 6-5, they have 5 more runs due to the errors from P27's infield. That is a high ball from Barnes. Pitch number 98. Can't imagine he has too many more batters left here this afternoon. He has put everything he has into this performance today. 1-0. Foul ball, 1-1. Talked to him yesterday during our coverage of the Home Run Derby. Walking around and talking to a few of the players. Talked to Nemo to get an idea of how he was feeling going into this start. He was excited for it. He said that he's pitched against P27 enough to know some of these hitters. Obviously, well, that works both ways. Barnes seems to have been able to use that to his advantage today, pitching well against the 3-seeded Blacksmiths. They throw to second, and that ball is off the back of Isaac Sanchez. Or rather, his pinch runner, number 19. I'd have to comb through my notes to try to figure out who number 19 even is. That ball lunged out and hit foul. One and 2 from Barnes. Munchell lets it go. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bryce Munchell, then Blankenship, then Frazier. P27 will need to see the bottom of the order come up big in order to turn it around to their big bats and give this rally a shot. Nemo is into triple digits. 101 pitches after that 2-2 was low. 2 balls and 2 strikes, runner on second with nobody out. Ground ball to Bernie. That is just foul. He backhanded it and was ready to throw. It would have been a long throw from behind third base, but it was not necessary because the ball was called foul by our home plate umpire. 7-2 is the score if you're joining us recently. The Kingsmen with a 4 spot in the 3rd, a 3 spot in the 6th. The offenses come in clumps. Both innings the Kingsmen have scored. P27 has immediately followed with a run. They have scored 1 run in both the 4th and the 6th innings in response to the Kingsmen's offense. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Munchell up at the plate with Blankenship on deck. Nemo Barnes comes set at the belt, and the pitch is a curveball low of the zone and taken for ball 3. Looks like Munchell started to fire the hips on that swing, but held off at the last moment. As now they throw to second, and Catani comes up firing to third as the runner is on the move, and he is into third base. Barnes spun to throw to second, or rather spun and threw to second. Daniel was not covering the bag. Miscommunication on the pick play. That's an error on the pitcher that puts the runner at third base. Kingsmen are not overly concerned about that runner. At least they shouldn't be, considering the scoreline. But that throw has cost them 90 feet. 3-2. Low for ball 4. Corners with nobody out for Blankenship. Preston Hudak on the edge of the dugout, but on the edge of the dugout to give a first and third play call. They will leave Barnes out there to face the 9-hole for the third time. And that is low. The Kingsmen nearly completed 4 trips around the order in their 7 innings of offense. P27, the final 2 hitters of their third trip. 1 ball and no strikes. And that is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Barnes gave up the double, then fought a long battle against Munchell, surrendering the walk, and now is behind in the count. Finds the zone there with the fastball. That velo now significantly down to 75. His last pitch was up to 81. Granted, that was about an hour and a half ago. 2 balls and 1 strike. Back to the fastball. Hits the inside corner. 2-2. Barnes looking for that evasive first out of the 7th as P27 tries to start a rally. 2-2. That is away. Runners staying put. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 2 teams slated to play next were supposed to have their first pitch 25 seconds ago. They are watching on in anticipation. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch 110 for Nemo. Is strike 3 to get Blankenship. Strikeout number 4 for Nehemiah Barnes. A curveball located beautifully, and he wins the battle for out number 1. Here's Matthias Frazier. Barnes is going to keep on going. His first pitch. That is high. This certainly sets the tone for the strategy as far as pitching is concerned. If a pitcher is working at his best, they're going to let him work. And he's in there for a strike. It's possible that this is the only time that Nemo Barnes will pitch this week in LakePoint. And it's also possible that the Kingsmen are saying, hey, we'd rather use him at his best once than use 3 pitchers trying to get out of a single game. As that ball's hit to second. Thomas, the flip to short, on to first base. A double play to end the ball game. The middle infield with the double play. And the Kingsmen win here at LakePoint. Complete game for Nemo Barnes. And high fives all around from the Kingsmen, who wrap up a 7-2 victory over the P27 Blacksmiths. And they move on to round 3 here in the winner's bracket. They'll play tomorrow at 12:15 against the winner of the game immediately following this one. We'll have a score update for you on that game at the top of the show for Prospect Baseball. I'm going to hop off and take a break myself. The Kingsman prospect team battling the winner of Central Point and Wellington Sports Academy. Wellington still battling in that one. They are down to their final out. They are actually down to their final strike now. But what a win for the Kingsmen varsity team to start this week. 2 big innings of offense, and Nemo Barnes with 7 consistent. He threw over 110 pitches, but it was enough to get the job done. And the bullpen unused in the first game of what might be a long week for a short staff. That will do it for today's show. We thank you for tuning in. Kingsmen win 7-2. We'll be back at 3 o'clock for prospect ball against either Central Point or Wellington. Thanks for joining us. I'm Griffin Leonard saying so long. We'll be back in a little while for more from Emerson, Georgia at LakePoint Sports.